So today we're going to be talking about fractions. And the first thing we want to ask ourselves is, what is a fraction? Now, to begin this, I recommend starting with the idea of a group. What is a group? Well, a group can be anything, just a collection of things. It could be a big group, it could be a small group, it could be a group of like items, it could be a group of different items. It doesn't really matter. But start there. That's going to really help us understand this concept of a fraction if we first understand that we have, or starting with, a group. Now, like I said, a group can be a group of anything. For example, a group can be a bag of coins. A group can be a pouch of dice. A group can even be a stack of cards. It doesn't really matter what your group is, as long as you have one. That's going to be our starting point of answering this question, what is a fraction? Now, let's say we're starting with our stack of cards. We have our group here. If you were to turn these over and I was to say, I want you to tell me, of all these Pokemon here, which ones are electric Pokemon? You would look through this entire group of Pokemon cards and say, these two. Out of the entire group, these two are electric Pokemon. Well, this is your concept of a fraction. Whatever you're focusing on out of your entire group is a fraction. This is a fraction of the entire group. Now, your fraction can be a small fraction, it could be a large fraction. Your fraction could be something like a part of it, or it can be the entire group itself. Fractions are pretty flexible. But the idea behind your fraction is whatever you're focusing on within a particular group. That's why you have to start with the group first. If you have no group, you have no focus. So once you have a group, whatever you're focusing on within that group will be your fraction. Let's say instead of the Pokemon cards, we want to focus on these dice. And I wanted to see all of the six-sided dice from all of this assorted dice here. So I take out all my six-sided dice and I put them over here. This is my focus. I only care about these six-sided dice. I don't care about all these other ones. This is my focus. I've now created a fraction. This portion of the entire group of dice. This is my focus. This is my fraction. But like I said, your fraction could be the entire group. All the coins in here look and feel roughly the same. So your fraction may end up being the entire group of coins. So now that we've talked about this concept of what is a fraction, let's talk about how to write a fraction. Now, writing a fraction will be very simple. It's broken up into three parts. So the first thing you'll notice is you have a bar. Now this bar is pretty important because it separates your top from your bottom. You have a top, a bar, and a bottom. Three parts of your fraction. Now, the top and the bottom have specific names. So your top, you'll hear that be called your numerator. Your bottom is going to be called your denominator. But your numerator is just your top of your fraction. Your denominator is just your bottom. So when you're thinking about it, think top versus bottom, numerator versus denominator. Numerator's top, denominator's bottom, and they're separated by this bar. But what is the numerator? What is a denominator? Or what is your top and what is your bottom? What does it represent? Well, let's look back at our group of Pokemon cards. And we said we wanted to focus on how many electric Pokemon we had. We found we had 2. Well, our focus was 2 because we're focusing on electric Pokemon. Your focus is always going to be in the top part of your fraction. So 2. I'm only focusing on 2, our electric Pokemon. So what goes in the bottom? Well, remember, this is a fraction of the entire group. Your entire group is what goes in the bottom. So you need to count up, including what you're focusing on, how many Pokemon cards we have here. Now, altogether, these are going to be 15 cards. 15, including these two here. So if your entire group is 15 cards, your focus is only going to be 2 of the entire 15. This is, once again, your fraction. This is your focus. This is how you write it as a fraction. You're focusing on 2 out of 15 cards. Now, notice, it doesn't really matter what other cards I have here. My focus is here. It doesn't change my fraction. As long as there's 15 in this group, this is going to be what my fraction looks like. You can always shift your focus though. Let's say instead of focusing on how many electric Pokemon I have, I wanted to focus on how many Pokemon have fire as a weakness. And I take out these 4. Well, that changes up my fraction a bit. Notice my bottom or my denominator doesn't change because I still have the same amount of cards in my group. But my focus is a little different. How many am I focusing on now? 4. 4 goes in the top. Our focus goes in the top. This now is a new fraction. Of my entire group of 15 cards, 4 out of 15 of them have a fire weakness. So this is how you write a fraction. Your focus goes in the top, your entire group number goes in the bottom. And don't forget your bar that separates it. Now that we've talked about how to write a fraction, let's see what happens when you don't necessarily have a group, but just one item. Now we said that your group can be a group of many different things. It could be a small group, it could be a large group, as long as you have a collection of things. But what if you only have one item? Can you still have fractions? Well, yes. In fact, as long as you do one very crucial thing, you can turn one item into a group of items. For example, let's say we have one rectangle. And this, it's by itself, right? It doesn't have any other rectangles around it. So it's kind of hard to say this is a group unless you're just saying your group is one item, which can happen. It's just not all that exciting. But how do I turn this into a group of many items? You want to break this into equal pieces or cut it into equal pieces. If you do that, you can turn one item into a group of items, and then you can then have your fractions depending on where your focus is. So forgive me if this is not exactly perfect, it's freehand, but imagine that this is exactly half. Now I've turned one item into a group of 2 items. You have this part and that part, 2 items. And because they're equal, this is going to help us form a fraction. Now, if they're not equal pieces, you're not going to have fractions. They have to be broken up into equal pieces. Hence why I say imagine this is exactly the same size. Equal pieces or they're not fractions. And now that I have this, if I focus on the shaded area, my shaded area is going to be what? You have your bar. How many pieces do you have? 2. And how many of them are shaded? 1, right? If I shade both, what's my focus? Now, 2 of them are. Once again, your focus could be the entire group. It doesn't have to not be the entire group. If I want to focus on all the non-shaded regions, since all of them are shaded, there's none that are not shaded. You can even have nothing. That's the magic of fractions. But you notice, we started with one item, and now we have a group of 2. You can do the same thing and break it into even smaller pieces. Let's say we have another rectangle. And instead of breaking it into 2 pieces, we are breaking it into 3 equal pieces. Now imagine these are exactly the same size. 3 equal pieces. Our fraction changes. How many pieces do we have in our group now? We have 3 now. 1, 2, 3. And if our focus is, let's say, on the shaded region of our rectangle, only one of those pieces is going to be shaded. If we want to focus on the non-shaded, 2 of them are not shaded. So you can see how you can turn one item into a group in which you can then find your fractions. you have to cut them into equal pieces. If you don't cut them into equal pieces, if you have a rectangle and it's like this, that is not going to help you find your fraction. Your fraction depends on all of the pieces being the same exact size. This is not going to work. Have them be the same exact equal pieces, the same exact sizes, equal pieces. You can transform one item into many items. So now that we've covered all of this, let's jump into a couple of examples. Let's say we have a group of assorted fruits. And I wrote them out right here so you know exactly how many fruits we have of our various types. They don't all have to be the same type of fruit. We have a group of different fruits here. We have apples, we have pears, bananas, and oranges. And you notice there's 4 apples, there's 1 pear, there's 2 bananas, and 3 oranges. Depending on where our focus is, our fraction will look pretty different. But we can find fractions from this group. So let's say we want to focus on apples. What's our fraction going to look like if we were to focus on apples? Well, first, put your bar. Now we have to determine what is our group. Our group is going to be all of these fruits. How many fruits do we have? Well, add up all the fruits. We have 4 apples plus 1 pear, so that's 5 fruits, plus 2 bananas, that's 7 fruits, plus 3 oranges, that's 10 fruits. So we have a group of 10. Our focus, however, is going to be on the apples. How many apples are we focusing on? We have 4 apples, so our fraction becomes 4 over 10. If we want to figure out or focus on pears, what is our fraction going to be for pears? You have your bar. Your bottom or denominator stays the same. We're not taking any of these fruits out. And we only have 1 pear. Bananas? Same thing. You have your bar. We still have the same group of fruits, so 10 stays the same, but we only have 2 bananas that we can focus on. And of course, oranges, the same thing happens. 10, and we focus on 3. So we finish this example. Let's jump into one more example before we cut out for today. So remember, you don't necessarily have to start with a bunch of different items. You could have one item, but if you cut them into equal pieces, you can still create your fraction. So that's what we're doing for this example. We have shapes. We have this rectangle, we have this circle here. And imagine once again that these are exact copies. They're exactly the same size. Imagine that. So if we're looking at this shape, right, and we want to focus on the shaded parts of this rectangle, what's going to be our fraction? How many parts are going to be in this group? We have our divider. How many parts are going to be here? There's 4 total parts in this group, and our focus is on the shaded parts. How many of them are shaded? 1, 2. 2 out of 4 parts are shaded. So this is going to be our fraction. How about this one? We have our bar. How many parts do we have? Maybe a little hard to see with the shading, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. 4 parts. How many are shaded? 1, 2, 3. That's going to be our fraction. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today. And if you did, be sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. See you again next week.